Welcome back to another video. This is another one of my tanks. This is a 29 gallon, what I consider my 29 gallon nano tank. I know to some people that might be a decent sized tank, but to me that's one of the smaller ones, and so I fill it with mostly nanofish, or I guess all nanofish. This is a fun tank. Another one that it took me a little while to figure out exactly what to put in it. I used to have some cichlids in it, but just too small for them and just not enough space for their level of activity. And also, when I built this thing, this stand that this sits on, I put this light on it, and this is a light from Lowe's. It's just a plant grow light, which at the time was great because it was super cheap, but it's also very bright and it grows a lot of algae. It does a very good job of growing algae. And so I was always fighting with algae issues in this tank until one day I had the thought that I needed to find some way to preserve my pond plants from outdoors so I could grow them over the winter time so that I could put them back outdoors during the summer, spring and summer. And so I decided to throw some water lettuce in here, and it solved all my problems because it blocked out all the light, and also I think makes this tank look pretty awesome. Just the lighting on it is perfect for these fish. And they're nothing special. There's some ember tetras in there, so a bunch of male guppies that I've bred, and some white cloud minnows, and then also some threadfin rainbow fish, which I also bred. Um, I bought those rainbow fish. Actually, sorry, I didn't buy these rainbow fish, but I bought their parents, and I got a good group of them originally. And then, sadly, I'm not sure if anybody's ever made this mistake, but if you haven't, then I would recommend you don't. You go to the store, you buy a bunch of fish, and you quarantine them, and you put them in your quarantine tank, and then you find out that that's not a good combination of fish to put in a quarantine tank. So in my case, it was a Pictus catfish, and I didn't. It was a small catfish, and I thought, well, he'll quarantine here. He'll be okay for a month. No, he ate half the threadfin rainbows. So I lost a lot of my rainbows that I had just bought, and so I, didn't want to go back to the store to buy more, and felt kind of dumb about that. So I just decided, I've got one male and two females left, so I threw in a mop in there and bred them and decided to figure out how to breed threadfin rainbows. And I didn't get a huge pull on it because they were kind of not very big threadfin rainbows at the time, but they laid a few eggs and I got about 12 of them, and here they are. So, there's nothing better than that feeling of breeding your own fish. And look at this guy, he's just hanging out in front, wants to show us what he's got, but he's beautiful. But there's just nothing cooler than that when you breed your own. And every time I look at them, I think, well, I failed and I accidentally had about 5 of them eaten, but now I've got 10 more, and they're mine. I made them, or they made them, but I helped them. So yeah, there. This is also one of the few tanks. I know everybody has different opinion about snails, but and most of the time I don't like them, and I actually had some coolie loaches that were originally going to go in here, but as the tank kind of developed and I saw these snails on the bottom, I actually just really liked the look of it. It just looked like such a natural environment, and especially with the way they kind of just crawl all over these rocks. These are actually the only rocks that I've ever bought before. I mostly just pulled them out of rivers and stuff, but I bought these ones, and the stick did come out of my backyard. But then we got some crypts in there, and yeah, I just love the plants, love the look of this, love the lighting, love the subdued lighting, and it just works so well. Another thing I'll say about this tank is this was one of the few tanks where I stopped buying or using cheap substrate. And I'm all about saving money on things, but you get what you pay for sometimes. So I've got a lot of tanks with the diamond black blasting stand, which I do like, but pool filter sand is just kind of meh. It works okay. It covers the bottom of the tank. But this one, I was kind of tired of having just generic white sand. So I just decided, I'm gonna go just start buying sand. And I did. So, and I've started doing that for a few tanks. I guess when you're starting up, you have a lot of startup costs, so you're buying a lot of different things. So sand and substrate is kind of on the bottom of the list. You want to get the tank up and running and you want to have beautiful fish. But now that I've got everything up and running and I'm not really buying tanks and filters anymore, I've started going back through tanks and redoing them and just doing real substrate. So this was actually substrate that I bought, which just looks a lot better. Although originally it was much whiter, but honestly, I don't mind. It really just looks like a very natural environment. So yeah, anyway, I hope that you enjoyed that video. I'm surprised how much I've enjoyed making these videos. I originally started this just because I wanted to document how these tanks were going and changing over time. And so, um, you know, just for my own purposes, but it's kind of fun interacting with people. And, I've kind of found there's a community out there, people that do the same thing, and you get different ideas from each other. So, anyway, I'm gonna keep making more. I've got more tanks that I haven't shown yet, so if you want to see more, just stick around, and there'll be more to come. And check out some of the other videos I have of my other tanks that I've made. They're all very different and very unique, and I know everybody has their own unique style and unique tanks. But you can see some of the ones that I've made. So hope you enjoyed. Thanks.